We've got a 340 HD T7 demo here for a couple of days. Gonna give that a little go on the cultivator, see what it's like. It is incredibly well spec'd. I mean, there's just an awful lot of stuff on here. It's even got hydraulic check arms. Hydraulic top link and hitch, both plumbed in so you don't lose any of your 5 spool valves. Got about 1,000 spotlights on it, somewhere around there, could be 900, but somewhere between 900 and 1,000 spotlights on it. A rear camera, a stop start button in here, a key fob like a car, central locking, all sorts of stuff on this compared to our older tractors. Mad really. Hydraulic adjustable front suspension and cab suspension. I can go into the menu here actually and just lift the front suspension up and down whilst we're sat here. Go on there. I'm not really sure why you'd need to do that, but you can if you want to. Loads more fancy electrics, as you get on pretty much any modern tractor now. You've got your five spool valve switches there. You can go through the screen and chop and change them around as you please. I think it's got three valves on the front. A few joysticks, you can swap stuff about on them. Probably take a few minutes to get used to everything in here, I would imagine. But yeah, we'll give it a little go on the Simba. I mean, the important thing is to see what it goes like in the field, isn't it? All these fancy electronics are all well and good, but as long as the GPS works and it pulls the cultivator well, it's all we're really worried about, isn't it? I will try and get a bit of footage, having a play with it tomorrow though. Hopefully get an hour or two to have a look go on it myself. See what she goes like. Slight change of plan. She is yoked up on the Sumo, as you can see. Ready for the morning. Look at that. It's even got follow me home lights when you lock it. Anyway, yeah, the Simba, the tines aren't enjoying the heavy land, which is baked fairly solid, as you can imagine. So we're going to go with the shallow pass with this, and then a deeper pass with this. It's got a lot stronger legs on it, so hopefully that'll do the same job. It'll just be a bit slower because you're only 3 meters at the time. 3 meters at a time. Anyway, but just come in and have a little word with John Deere. Look, you're still my favourite. I'm not replacing you. You won't ever leave this farm. Don't you worry about that. You're a good girl. Ship it right. Here we are then, having a little go with the Sumo. She's making light work of it, as you'd expect. 340 horsepower on a 3 metre Sumo. She's not exactly straining herself. The legs are nearly all the way out as well, because it is horrendously hard and dry, so you don't want to put too much strain on things. It's nearly rattling itself to bits as it is, but it's not doing a bad job considering. We did have the Simba going in this field, but broke a few legs yesterday and it was just getting a little bit silly really, so well, we dropped down to this, stronger legs. It's doing a nice job. It's just a bit slower with only being 3 meters, but it's what it is. It does feel like there's quite a lot more going on regarding buttons, switches, and the screen's got a lot more to it than the older ones, as you'd expect, but it's a really good layout actually. It doesn't take long to get used to, and the screen as well, for how much stuff's on there, hasn't taken long to get to grips with it at all. It's laid out very well, and finding it rather user friendly. Cab's a nice place to be, fairly quiet, as comfortable as you'd expect from a tractor, I guess. It's a little bit rough on here, so it's probably a good test to see how it'll end up feeling after a few hours on it. I'm hoping to get a Case Optum demo, which I know is a very similar tractor, but they are slightly different inside, slightly different layout, so it'd be nice to compare the two. I've also got a John Deere 6250R coming as well. We had an M in the spring, so I want to try the R to have a bit of a comparison there. So hopefully we'll get a chance to do that this autumn, because we sort of ran out of time a bit to try all these things in the spring. Looks like we might have some actual rain coming in a minute, if we're really lucky. I don't think there's going to be much, but enough for me to just wiggle a few bits of kit under cover. Just put the header in the Dutch barn. I'm going to stick the combine under there so they don't get soaked through if we do get anything. I haven't sprayed any of the bare metal with oil or anything yet, so don't really want it stood out getting wet unnecessarily. That'll do nicely. Tucked away in the drive for the time being. I'm going to go take a little look at the T7 demo again. We had a bit of a change of tactics. It's come off the Sumo and we've gone on the Simba flatliner subsoiler. 5-leg subsoiler, strong legs. Just try and run through that at a depth that makes a sensible job. The Sumo's doing alright, but it's just pulling up a lot of lumps. Just so dry. We'll see if that does a sensible job, and then we can go over that with the Simba SL to finish off and hopefully get what we need in 2 passes. And then if we need to, when the time comes, we'll just have to run something ahead of the drill to finish the seedbed off. Well, this looks like it's doing a sensible job. It's not ripping big old lumps out, and it's leaving the soil profile a little bit more closed. So instead of big lumps, big open air spaces for the soil to dry out even harder before we can get over it again with the Simba SL, we're getting a nice consolidated finish, which has just had a good bit of soil shattering. That should let the SL slip through there nicely, and won't have so many big old lumps to deal with. This is what we had after the Sumo, which is not disastrous at all, but if we can get it better, then why wouldn't we? I'll go across a little bit and show you how it was coming up behind the Simba, and it was lovely behind the Simba. Trouble is when it's coming up like this in these lumps. Here's a prime example. It's just going to take so much working down. So I think, where are we? Here's the Simba stuff. Was making a beautiful job, but 4 legs snapped in the morning. You've got to draw the line somewhere. that can be getting on to be a rather expensive hobby. And I think each time he had one go, he pulled it out a hole shallower, got to the point where the tines were virtually as far out as they'll go, and thought, now we need to knock this on the head. But I think it's gonna make a lovely job on top of that Simba flatliner work. It's definitely making that T7 work a bit harder than the Sumo was earlier, with the tines shallowed out. It's running at about 100% engine power. Those Simba subsoiler tines are running at about 15-16 inches deep, and when it was hitting some extra hard spots, it was pretty much pulling the old girl to a halt. You may have noticed the tiny little front weight on it, so that could easily do with being a half a ton bigger or so. It is apparently a 1 ton weight, but it is tiny. I don't think I've ever seen a 1 ton weight that small before. Look at this! A puddle. Don't get too excited though. 1 millimetre in the rain gauge. That'll do for today. I really need to try and get around the outside of this other reservoir, but I'm not sure how well I'll squeeze around there with this tractor, because it's got a fence around it. But there's a couple of bad patches of brambles where that corner, I keep on top of them, tend to get rather out of hand. Not to mention the fact that if you don't keep these bits cut, you end up getting trees randomly popping up everywhere, which just isn't ideal, is it? Got a couple of batteries on charge around here as well. Try and get this old Macro fired up and moved somewhere a bit more sensible. It is not positioned overly well for backing the combine in and out of this Dutch barn. Anyway, I'm going to go and grab some tea, so I'll catch you in the morning. Dry old job, innit? Oh, I don't like doing this. She's going. Just over 10 tons. Don't snap. Just over 10 still. A little bit more. That is probably about as good as I'm going to get that. There is a small bend in the top as well where the bolt holes are, so just going to see if I can even that out a little bit. about there, and then we'll try and bulk it up with some bits of metal and some welding. Right, there's the wear metal back on. It isn't exactly perfect, but it's pretty close. I'll put them back on, because if not, you know what will happen. I'll start welding some bits to it, and those bits will get in the way of me putting the wear metal back on. So now they're on, I can see how far and how close to them I can weld. Here's the plan. Going to run some beads of weld across that middle bit, which is, as you can see, the thinnest. Then some of this flat, 5 strips of that along here on both sides. First strip 4.5 inches, then a 7.5, and then 3 8-inch strips. Don't worry, I did tell the 4.5-inch strip not to worry, it's not competition. I'll do that on both sides, and then we'll stick it back on and have a go. I've got a couple more of these on order, which should be in the next day or two hopefully, but if this gets us out of a muddle for half a day or a day's work, that'll be worth an hour and a half of messing around, won't it? Scrap that, I've got a better idea. I found some 10mm plate. Watch this. This is where the plasma cutter comes into her own. Here we go. Two of them each side. That should take some bending then. An extra 20mm of steel plate. Welding away, and whatever's that noise? Forgot what that stuff looked like. Might as well give you a quick look now, whilst I turn my camera on. That is just A1 farm bodge repair. Just, whoa, beauty. Look at that. It's got 2 chances, hasn't it? But that bit of weld on the top there almost looks good. That'll do, won't it? It'll be interesting to see how it ends up anyway. Don't worry, I'll take you on the journey with me. If it bends in the first 5 minutes of use, I will indeed tell you. Anyway, I've got to try and get it back on the machine now without, number 1, burning myself, and number 2, dropping it on myself. Oh, that was easier than I was expecting. Well, there you go. Right, I will get them tightened up. You knew something was going to happen, didn't you? There's a beam there. Look at that. Someone's been sick on there, look. Perfect. Couldn't have done it better myself. Right, get that done. Get that done up. I'm going to go out for a beer tonight. I feel like I've earned it. It's felt like a productive few hours. So yeah, I'll see you on the next one. As always, watch your head. As always, if you have enjoyed the video, please give me a subscribe, give the video a like, and I'll see you for the next one.